Space, the final frontier, as vast as it is mysterious. Time flows differently on each planet, and things we don't have here appear there. Also, are we alone? Let's find out. Alien existence. It's a question that we've asked a million times. Are aliens real? And if so, why haven't we found them yet? Are they trapped with super-Earths, or are they hiding from us? Well, according to an Israeli general, it's the latter. 87-year-old Professor Hayem Eshed states that there is life among the stars, and humanity is not ready to meet them yet. Before anyone thinks he's an old man gone senile, you gotta remember a few things. First, he is the former head of the Israeli Defense Ministry's Space Directorate, which means he knows much more than us regarding space. Why else would a local newspaper pay attention to him when he said a Galactic Federation already secretly made contact with Earth? You can find those claims in the Jerusalem Post if you're interested. If you're not keen to believe the whole Galactic Federation thing, I wouldn't blame you. However, the Drake equation does show that chances are good that there is extraterrestrial life out there. Some countries even spend millions of dollars looking for signs of alien life. Galaxies Collide. Our galaxy is on a direct course toward a collision with Andromeda. Don't worry though, it won't happen for a few billion years. Honestly, who knows? Maybe our descendants would have invaded a new star system by then. The Andromeda-Milky Way collision is predicted to occur about 4.5 million years from now. It's predicted that it's improbable that any individual body will collide, with the biggest effect being that some stars will probably get ejected from the new galaxy that'll be formed. That galaxy is referred to as Melkometa or Melkodromeda, a portmanteau of the two. I'll skip the more scientific stuff since I'm sure most would be curious about the fate of our solar system. Well, the answer may surprise you. According to two scientists, there's a 50% chance the solar system will be swept further from the galactic core. There is a 12% chance it may also be ejected from the new galaxy. Still, neither of these possibilities will adversely affect the system. Any disturbance to what we know today may simply be remote. Cold welding. Just after performing America's first spacewalk on June 3, 1965, astronauts Edward H. White II and command pilot James A. McDivitt of Gemini 4 had difficulty opening and closing the hatch. Honestly, just imagine that. You just completed a mission of a lifetime, and the biggest problem you're now facing is a metal door. That's considering you're in a zero-gravity area. How much harder would it be on the ground? Eventually, they closed the hatch and returned safely to Earth. However, just what caused that hatch to stick in the first place? Well, the answer could be cold welding. Cold welding is a welding process that requires little to no heat to join metal together. These two surfaces, without an interposing oxide layer, are brought together with similar atoms from either side collapsing into each other with some pressure. Imagine them being squished together so much that they won't break apart, basically. It isn't often, but it does happen in space because those oxide layers can be worn away when they slide over one another. That and the lack of oxygen makes cold welding happen far easier. Decades-long winters. To sci-fi lovers, how many works have we seen that sported years-long seasons? Heck, in one particular sci-fi series, the seasons last about 5 years. Pretty long time. But it's nothing compared to how long Uranus' seasons are. According to articles online, each one of the Sideway World seasons lasts about 21 years. It takes nearly an entire lifetime to experience all of it. Pretty bizarre, but this can be explained by comparing our axis to Uranus's. Earth's axis is tilted 23.5 degrees with respect to our plane of orbit around the Sun. Uranus, it's tilted 98 degrees, so the ice giant is sideways. Aside from that, Uranus takes a long time to orbit the Sun. 1 year isn't 365 days, it's 84 Earth years. Oh jeez. However, unlike what others may think, its distance from the Sun does not affect its seasonal change. It's actually the tilt. Extreme tilt means extreme seasons. At least you get some balance during spring and fall, but be prepared to shrivel up during the summer and then freeze during the winter. Diamond showers. And if only planetary transport were a thing, go to Saturn, fill up sacks upon sacks of diamonds, and return to Earth to sell them at a profit. Not everyone's willing to brave the treacherous storms for money, though. The things we do for cash. But yes, I may sound like I'm joking when I say this, but it's 100% true. It does in fact rain diamonds on Saturn. This is the one time reality surpassed fiction. You see, Saturn is an immense gas mass, right? Its composition is so different that the methane gas within its atmosphere gets processed into diamonds by the storm activity. This is because Saturn's rays have incredibly high temps. It's 10,000 times more powerful than Earth's, so when these bolts strike, it breaks molecule bonds and separates hydrogens and carbon. These carbons stick together, creating a soot compound. When these things free fall to the center, the pressure it's subjected to transforms the carbon, first into graphite, then into diamonds that we all know and love. Mark my words, one day there's going to be diamond space mining, and it's not going to be in deep rock Galactic. Blue sunsets. Mars may be known as the red planet, but not everything about it is red. Its sunset certainly isn't that color anyway. Yep, you're saying it correctly. Mars sports blue sunsets rather than your typical yellow-orangey ones. You know what? I think it's pretty as the ones that we're used to. Only that I'd probably reach for the cardigan sooner rather than later. You could almost say the Earth is inverse to Mars, with our early morning blue skies but warm afternoons, while Mars has warm-colored mornings and cool sunsets. According to data, the scenery is vastly different because of the Martian atmosphere. The color we see depends not on the sun, but through the medium which its rays pass. You see, light interacts differently with different particles. It can get absorbed, reflected, or scattered. On Earth, we experience something called Rayleigh scattering. On Mars, though, it's a different optical phenomenon, Mie scattering. The difference between the two lies in the size of particles, and the Mie scattering isn't dependent on wavelength. There's more behind it, but that's the basics of it. Expensive suits. A spacesuit built in 1974 costs anywhere between 15 mil to 22. Today, that's about 150. Why are these things so dang expensive? Is that why NASA only has 4 flight-ready EVA suits left? Why don't they just make better and more affordable ones? Well, here's the thing. They're pricey because they're complex, human-shaped aircraft. That's right, folks, the space shuttle isn't the only piece of tech going into space. The clothes are, too. According to Kathleen Lewis, a spacesuit has to protect an astronaut from the vacuum of space, radiation from the sun, and other galactic bodies. Top of all that, it also protects it from fast-traveling particles that travel about 18,000 miles per hour, which could penetrate the suit. Also provides the astronaut oxygen, communications, telemetry, and everything else that somebody needs to survive, all in one singular tiny suit. Sadly, only 4 suits are left because others were destroyed during testing or lost in disasters. There's an urgency to create more because components used to refurbish and maintain these suits are dwindling in supply, such as the carbon dioxide sensors. Maybe SpaceX can lend NASA a hand if both parties are willing. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Takes a lot of guts to continue on with a mission, knowing there's a good chance you won't make it back alive. The Astronaut Who Fell from Space. We all think highly of astronauts. However, not all of us know the high risk that these individuals take so humanity can advance. One such hero who laid his life down to pursue science was Vladimir Mikhailovich Komarov. Komarov was a Soviet test pilot, aerospace engineer, and cosmonaut. Not only that, but he commanded Volkshot 1, the first spaceflight that carried more than one person. In fact, Komarov was the first Soviet cosmonaut to fly in space twice. Sadly, the second time was the ill-fated Soyuz 1. Komarov was assigned to the Soyuz program along with Yuri Gagarin and Alexei Leonov. Even during the preparation stage, many things were already off about this mission. There were design problems, a lack of response to concerns, and far more. However, they still pushed forward. While in space, the Soyuz 1 suffered technical issues. On his way down, the main braking parachute failed to deploy. The module then crashed into the ground, killing Komarov. While he is hailed as a hero, it's hard to think that if they had listened to before the mission, things might have ended well for him. Cryovolcano. Not all volcanoes spew lava, at least not all the ones in space. Some instead erupt water, ammonia, or methane into a frigid environment below freezing. Just what is this process? Well, it's called cryovolcanism. And the volcano itself is called a cryovolcano, or an ice volcano. Often referred to as cryomagma and cryolava, these substances are usually liquids. Much like our lava and magma, these can also form plumes, except they appear in vapor form. After the eruption, it's expected to condense into a solid state thanks to the freezing environment. Kinda like hail in a weird way. These volcanoes form on icy moons and other planets with tons of water past the solar system's snowline. Some examples of these celestial bodies are Pluto, Titan, and Ceres. Some, though, are not known to form volcanoes, and they create ice geysers instead. These bodies are Enceladus and Triton. It's believed that the way these cryovolcanoes are formed is through tidal friction. They're translucent deposits of frozen materials that make a subsurface greenhouse effect, accumulating the necessary heat to form. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Shrinking Mercury. That sounds alarming. Mercury, the smallest planet, is shrinking. According to scientists, it's already grown 9 miles less in diameter. Like grapes turning into raisins, Mercury is shrinking and wrinkling. It's already 8.6 miles smaller than it was nearly 4 billion years ago. Sure, it's a long period of time, but still, the difference is nothing to brush off. According to scientists, the planet is downsizing due to cooling. Pictures that a NASA spacecraft took show a single rocky plate encapsulating Mercury is contracting, creating puckered ridges and scalloped-edged cliffs on the planet. In short, Mercury's making its own mountain belts. This also means that the landscape is changing quite dramatically. Not to worry though, apparently. Experts say all planets chill and shed heat, and Mercury is no exception despite being close to the sun. The toll it took on the planet though is admittedly unusual. Kinda hope that doesn't happen to Earth, at least not too much. See you all next time!